Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new series we're doing, which doesn't exactly have a name yet.
No, I'm right.
That's it. You know what? TCM. No, I'm right. That's the new title of the show. Thank you.
And before everyone
First
starts,
question: what animal is this?
Because they can see that so well, Christian.
Perfect.
Second question. Do
It's
you
a lizard
feel
with
fear?
boxing gloves.
How did you know?
It's pretty clear. Okay, so what this is basically when we hang out, we debate about things.
Nope.
We
Not
have,
true. I never debate.
Yep, you're doing.
I am the least debater.
You're doing it right now.
Oh,
So what we're doing is we're actually going to put a little game to it. And I actually tweeted out earlier that we may include fans in this debate system. You
they're
know,
always wrong.
because we can always Skype people in. Granted, my internet in this Brada cave is not exactly the best, but we'll try to figure something out.
Right.
or maybe do it over on Skypes.
We could do it on Skype too. Sure, that works too.
Possible. That way
Yep.
we're all at our own respective homes and with internet.
I guess you can do that.
Cheating.
So the way this is going to work is each of them is going to roll to see who chooses the first category. There are 5 categories today, and whoever rolls highest gets control of the board. And we're going to play it not exactly Jeopardy style, but in that same idea.
I ate my die. Can I
Okay.
have another?
No,
Maybe Christian.
you're just
Christian's
going to have to
got
reroll
four.
somebody else's die. Oh, okay.
We tied, Christian.
Reroll 5 and 1.
Christian. Christian, start.
Okay, so Christian, you have control of the board.
Yeah.
The way this is going to work. So I'm going to ask an opinion-based question.
A fact when I answer.
Sure, and they're going to have to give me their answers, and then they will each have time to argue their answer, why their answer is right and the others are wrong, as Christian likes to say. So, well, actually, I guess just the best way of doing it is just to do it, and then they'll kind of see how it goes. And then the best argument gets a point, and we'll go first one to 4 points.
5 ribbons.
First one to 4 points makes it into the championship round, and then the next highest, or the 2 remaining, will have one chance to get to the final round, and then the last round will be decided by one of the questions left.
I feel like I'm on Deal or No Deal.
Yes, but it's always no deal.
If you have a topic relating to League of Legends, I'm ready for that.
I don't
Well,
want that one.
the questions are, or the categories are rather, movies, TV, League of Legends. By the way, if you're not a fan of League of Legends, I mean,
I don't know what to tell you.
like, yeah, it's gonna be a topic every week because we play it
And
a lot.
like, I spend all my work time researching it.
Yes.
Because, you know.
Video games, other video games. I'm pretty much telling you, and D&D. So choose your category.
Let's start off with a familiar face. Let's go with D&D.
Okay. This is the question. Which would you rather play? Tank, mage, or striker? Christian, you have the first opinion. And then you had the next highest, and then you pick. So you just tell us what you want first, your category, your answer.
Yeah.
Don't defend it yet, and then they'll tell us their answers, and then you defend it. Good.
Mage.
Mage. Okay. What enough for you?
I would rather play a tank.
And then you.
Mm.
And then
you
you've
can
got
say
striker.
tank too. You
I'm
can say
saying tank as well.
Okay, so striker is out, but you have to have a completely different argument from him.
Well, if you steal my argument, I'm going to be very angry.
Well, he goes first. So, all right, Christian, why is the mage the best?
This is a silly question.
Oh, there's one simple answer.
Well,
Alright.
That's
no,
just
no,
one
no.
word.
The question is, which would you rather play?
Okay, yeah, Mage.
So, yeah. So why?
Because I like to be powerful. I like to rape the minds of my enemies without blinking an eye. And I like to be a fucking boss while, like, getting my hair cut. Because, like, I can do that too. I can do it. You can literally do whatever you want when you're, like, a fucking mage. And that just seems pretty fucking badass to me.
Okay. Burwell, why a tank?
Here's the thing about the other classes in D&D, okay? Every class can deal damage. Even if you say, I don't deal damage, guess what? You can deal damage. Tanks can deal damage too. But here's the thing. There's only one resource that you can't get any more of, and that's health points. Unless you have a bullshit healer. Like somebody that I know. Who I couldn't kill anybody because of. But
You killed me.
I feel just that tanks are the most viable position to play because you just have massive amounts of health and defenses, and the one thing a boss can't do if they deal a lot of damage, is fight a tank. 'Cause
Okay,
you're not
so
hitting them.
so just to differentiate, your argument is that it's the only one that has like the massive amount of HP and the defense.
It offers what? Yes.
Okay.
It offers
Gotcha.
it offers the defenses and health to
Good.
survive bosses.
Okay.
No, I'm right. I find that tanks are viable and advantageous in the fact that a lot of tanks are beefy in the sense of strength. And strength offers skill checks that allow a more fun perspective. Like, let's say you get to catch a fucking boulder or deck a guy in the schnoz and get away with it with how intimidating you are, or simply the fact that you get to wield a giant sword. But simply saying that health is it's not the deciding factor. It's a whole kit between crowd control, between skill checks, and between having varying abilities. But being real good at swinging a sword, you can't beat that.
Okay, Christian, why are the other two wrong?
Well, one, their name is Beattie and Burwell.
Right. Okay.
But besides that,
Point. No, I'm just kidding.
The mage is, I find, the most fun and unique just because even though their points were good, the mage can also do those things. Like, oh, I could use my arcana to be super strong, or you just won't hurt me because that was my double, and I could teleport. Oh, you're over here now? Okay, you're gone, you're immobile, and I do 1,000 damage. And I just feel like you have total control. You feel like you're your own DM. And I feel like that's why.
Is it fair to say we all know the specific classes, like at least from 4th edition?
Yeah.
What would you say is the best mage class? But based on your reasoning.
The best mage?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know that much in depth to each individual
Okay.
class.
All right.
Sorry.
Fair enough. Okay. And then, okay, Burwell, why is specifically Beattie wrong, but why is also Christian wrong?
Well, Christian's wrong because if you play a mage, generally you're a bad person. You like watching. You like watching other people not have a good time. And the reason Beattie's wrong, yeah, skill checks are good, but I don't need to make skill checks. You know why? Because if I fall down your pit trap and I take 30 spike damage, that's fine. Because I still have 90 health points to go, baby.
All right,
And,
Beattie. Sorry.
In regards to the best tank class to be,
Yeah.
I believe it would be a paladin. Because not only are you tanky, but you can heal yourself.
Okay. And why are the other two wrong, Beattie?
Well, I'm going to have to give it to Burwell that anyone that plays mage is a bad person.
Right.
That's just a fact.
That is just
Gee, thanks, guys.
Oh, by the way, Sean is here as an outside consultant, in case I can't decide on an answer or an argument.
However, raw health aside, you gotta be your own man when you're playing a character. And do you just want to be a guy that's got fucking neck muscles and takes whatever's thrown at you?
You pick
Or-
things up and put them down.
Or do you want to be a man making decisions who's able to follow those decisions through?
What do you mean?
Skill checks. Having more than just health to simply put your way through.
Well, okay. Now I just want you to clarify something, because when you say make decisions and see them through, you're implying that the tank is the leader, which I find is not usually the case.
Are you saying that other characters aren't able to make decisions?
No. That's what I'm asking.
I'm not
you.
saying that
that's
he's
the way
making.
it sounded to
I'm
me.
not saying he's making decisions for the whole team.
Oh,
He's
okay,
making
okay.
decisions himself.
Okay,
If
that's what it implied to me. That's all. Okay.
But if he decides he wants to jump 30 feet onto the flying potato monster,
Hulk
he
jump.
can.
Gotcha. Okay.
Always enjoy a Hulk.
Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Mages are bullshit, and Christian's mostly
But that
right.
doesn't. But that doesn't make them. That's not a reason why not to play them, though. Like why you wouldn't want to play
I
them.
feel like the reason why not to play a mage is that it's boring. I really do think it's boring. It's just, hey,
just never
would
played
you
a
like
mage?
to be handed a win? Thank you.
What's wrong with
Would
winning?
you like to?
My only comparison is when I have the most fun, it's when I'm winning in a video game. And I sure as hell win when I'm a mage.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts?
I'll let my previous arguments stand on their own merit.
All right. Sean, do you have any thoughts?
No, I got nothing.
Okay, so my thought here to give the point is, so firstly, I like what you said. This doesn't mean I'm giving the point. I'm just saying I like what you said, Christian, about winning, because specifically mages do win in general. You two had a actually, it's funny how different your arguments were considering you picked the same role. Burwell with hit points and specific like beefiness in the fight specifically, and Beattie said more out of character beefiness. But I think the point is going to go to Beattie on this one. I think he had a good argument with why and specifically because he just played a tank and he's telling me why he enjoyed playing that tank specifically, and I think it was a very well done argument.
Makes sense.
Okay,
How much you
so-
paying him?
So Burwell, it was well done, but no, I'm right.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. And being
we
right.
we have to say that after each point is awarded.
Yes.
we have a good time here. I'm gonna kill you later.
What?
Meet
What?
me in the parking lot.
Oh, there's no parking.
After class,
Okay.
3 p.m.
This isn't okay.
I'm so angry.
All right. So Beattie, you have control of the board.
I have a point.
You have a point. Yes,
will
I
pick.
have track of the points. You don't have to.
Well, I want a tally
Okay.
on my own sheet.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Which category would you like to pick? No.
What's the 5th category?
You rolled a 3.
D&D.
Oh, no,
What's
he
the
rolled.
next 6th category?
There isn't one.
3rd category.
He loses his argument.
League of Legends.
League of Legends.
All right, League of Legends it is. So Beattie, you have control of the board, and we'll go.
How about the example question we've been
That's
discussing?
what we're gonna do.
I like that.
Yeah.
one.
Is it?
So the question is, which champion in League of Legends is most deserving of a buff? A buff, for those of you who aren't nerds.
This is what I wanted to clarify. Not a reworking, but a
No,
buff.
not a
straight
rework.
numbers
A
buff.
buff, yes.
Okay.
A buff. Meaning, a
I
rework would
feel
be
like-
a different question.
I don't know. I think
Specifically a buff, okay?
Okay.
Not a rework.
that
a
changes
buff.
a lot of
A
what I
rework
have.
is a completely different question, which we will ask eventually. But yeah, so Beattie, you have a buff, by the way, for those of you who aren't nerds, which I assume all of you are, is just basically a strength boost. Basically means they're going to be played more, they're stronger in the game, and all that stuff. Okay, so Beattie, you're up.
All right. Unfortunately, now that we specified rework, I mean the champion I want to discuss is Nar. Simply because, yes, I find that the whole idea of an enemy can see you building your rage bar and soon you're going to become the monster will just simply walk away from you. And I feel like the buff that he needs is either A, people can't see his rage bar and they can't tell when he's going to be able to turn into the monster, which gives him immense damage and utility, or B, be able to toggle that rage bar. Simply it's on his ult, it can be activated, but instead of 8 seconds he immediately becomes the monster, maybe make it 20 seconds or so. But of course there would have to be nerfs in order to balance that. His percentage damage would have to go down or such.
Okay, Christian.
I would have to say Elise, just because where she was once even though it was only
The queen
Elise
of
and
the
Lee Sin,
jungle.
it was only Elise and Lee Sin for a while, which sucked, but Lee Sin is still strong. Elise got shit canned into the oblivion, and it's almost a joke when people play her because you know you're gonna lose. And when it's laughable that a champion's played, I just feel like that they need something added to their kit that will just give them a little. Because her kit's still fun, it's just missing something. She doesn't scale well.
Okay, so you think her buff should be more scalability?
Either more damage or make her more useful as a
Well,
tank.
she is a spider, so she can scale things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Either more
Gotcha.
damage or more CC.
Point
Okay.
to Matt for scaling.
Burwell.
His name, and this is not going to be popular with one of our panel here.
Don't you say it.
But
I know.
his name is Aatrox.
Okay. Alright. I see it. Alright, I'm leaving. I don't want to play this game.
Burwell is admitted to be the most toxic person here.
Aatrox is a champion that thrives on being in the center of battle. However, you need to build pure damage on him in order to do anything, or you can build pure tank, hope that the rest of your lanes do enough damage to win the fight, and you just be pretty much useless as a knockup machine. I think they either need to add some sort of buff to his ult that gives it some sort of fear or CC, disable when he activates it in the middle of a team fight, or they need to increase the healing percentage on his W.
Okay. Beattie, why are the other two wrong?
I just want to go over something real quick. What were your suggestions, Christian?
Either more damage or more CC.
But in specifics.
You don't need specifics.
Q
Specifics
damage,
would help
W
if you
damage.
have specifics, but
I'm not a designer. I just think that those are the buffs that she needs. I'm not one to say that.
Well, it could be
I
more
know
damage
better.
on her Spiderling Q.
Yeah.
Could be more damage or bigger percent health takeout from her Q.
Okay, so we'll say, like, in overall, everything gets a slight something.
Yeah.
She gets a numbers buff.
Yeah.
Okay, here's why I think you're both wrong.
No, more like, no, I'm right.
Yes, this is why I'm right. Nar is a champion that I feel like deserves a little bit more control onto, where if you're able to toggle, it gives something a little bit more satisfying, and you're able to make those plays you so desperately want every game. Meanwhile, on Aatrox, it is true, he is an item-dependent mofucker. But, however, I had something, and then my mind just went blank. No, I actually kind of agree. I do want buffs on an Aatrox. So
you're bowing out?
So I'm actually going to poke fun at Christian. Christian.
You can totally do that. You can totally just bow out of the argument.
Tank Elise is actually extremely viable. We've seen Odd One stream this, and I've seen it be successful because she offers the utility, she offers the stun, and she offers an execute that needs no damage.
Excuse me.
That's why you're wrong.
Okay, Christian, why are the other two wrong? Well, I guess just why is Burwell wrong? Because Beattie is bowed out.
I have two things. One, speaking as a gold player.
Right.
Oh, we got it pulled
He's gold
back
for
on,
3
huh?
days.
You know, as chief.
Oh, so if we look up on Funny Kid right now, you'll be gold?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, as long as you're on land server.
Oh, no, on American server.
What? Oh.
Oh.
Oh, so you're not gold in America, huh?
Oh, did you?
So you got Special Olympics gold.
I'm
That's
just
cool.
wondering how.
That's so
Where
nice.
were your golds in general?
Huh? Oh, no, I didn't go to the land server. Christian, I didn't want to take advantage.
Being gold on land is like being the smartest kid with Down syndrome.
Oh, have you gone? Have you tried?
I don't have to try.
Oh well, that's weird.
No, I also can't
that means
afford.
you're zero
I also
rank on
can't
land.
afford to try.
But what's it called? Alright, I mean, I don't really have to argue, Beattie, but I was just gonna say that Noah's still playing the LCS, and I feel like any champion that's playing the LCS doesn't need a buff. But
I was going to say the same thing.
I know that Elise has the third lowest win rate right now, and although she has her strengths, I think they're not as well presented. Whereas Aatrox, you have a clear, like he's overall pretty easy to play, and honestly at low elos he can dominate like pretty hardcore. Elise is overall pretty like flat as a champion right now, I feel like.
Okay, any final thoughts?
Well, I didn't
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry. I thought I went that way.
I will say that I still think Nar's the threat. I will say that. I think if you build him properly, he can still do plenty of damage and be plenty tanky, and I think he's all right there. With Elise, see, here's the thing. I disagree. I agree with Christian so much that I disagree. I don't believe that Elise is deserving of a buff because I think she needs a complete reworking of her kit. I don't think her kit synergizes well with itself. I don't think her stun and gap closer is really efficient or effective. I think she just needs a complete 100% rework, where I feel Aatrox is in a completely fine place. He's got engage, he's got slow, he's got sustain. I just think he needs a little bit of a numbers buff to tweak him into a place where he's perfectly viable to be played in the LCS again. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
I agree.
And anything can stomp at low elo, okay? My AP Lee Sin can stomp at low elo.
He's got a good point there. Any final thoughts?
I'd have to say, Burwell, I agree. As just a final thought on Nar, I'm not asking for a buff in damage. I'm actually asking for a nerf in damage, but a buff in controlling.
Okay, so you want less uncontrollable ulting.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Any other final thoughts, Christian? No?
I'll leave.
Okay. Alright, so my thoughts on that one. I think the ability not to see Nar's rage bar is a little ridiculous if you think about it, because like that would be like not seeing a mana bar or an energy bar on other champions, and it eliminates the outplay potential. You know, the reason why you run away from a Gnar when he becomes Mega Gnar is because he's Mega Gnar, and why would you fight that? And you could still make TP plays as Mega Gnar, and that's kind of his whole point. So that's
that was an A and B kind of thing. A was either remove the rage bar,
right,
or B would be the toggle of being able to change into Mega Gnar or not.
Okay. then it messes with his character a little bit, which is okay. That's not exactly what we're debating, but okay. And then with Elise, I think you have a very, very good points because the once queen of the jungle is now literally like a peasant, and she's absolute garbage right now. And Aatrox is just Aatrox.
You can hate him all you want.
No. I'm not saying that. The argument was that you either build full attack speed to do stuff, which you can split push with full attack speed Aatrox. You could duel pretty well. He's actually one of the better duelists if you build him that way. And Tank Aatrox is useless, but it does still exist.
He's extremely...
Tank Aatrox is useless.
No,
he's as useless as any other... Well, he's as useful as any other tank, really, but
he's similar in Gangplank that he's extremely item dependent.
Sure. So, with all that said, I think the point this round is actually going to go to Christian. Because you would have had the win, but you lost it when you said Elise deserves a complete rework. Because the only thing that's happened to her, she's been nerfed. She used to be the queen of the jungle with the same kit.
Oh no, I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, she was the queen of the jungle for a reason. Because she was untouchable with her kit. So her kit is either toxic and unplayable against, and she'll be in every game, or unplayable, and you can't use her at all because she does nothing.
Oh, you mean like
That's
a
fair.
Fizz kit?
That's fair. But that wasn't made during the argument portion.
No,
But yeah, but I that is a good point as well. All right, so Christian gets the point on that round.
Yay, 5 points for Christian.
No,
No,
just
just
one.
Five.
Just one.
All right,
But I
fine. You
wrote
get 5.
five.
But who won the first round?
Yay.
Beattie.
Beattie also has 5 cents.
Damn it.
Oh, okay.
So
All
5
right,
points per
Christian, pick a category.
Oh shit. That's my category.
Nope, I don't have that one.
TV shows I think was one of them.
Just TV in general.
Oh, okay. TV.
So this question is based on. Wait, did you write the second question on this one?
On TV?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I think I just didn't finish that question. All right, I'll finish that in a minute.
Do I pick another question?
No. I have the first question.
Oh, okay.
And that is, which is the best celebrity from TV, or what's the best character from TV to have on your zombie apocalypse team?
Keep in mind this is TV, not movie.
TV.
So Harry Tubman's out of the question.
Yes, Harry Tubman's out of the question.
That includes fiction.
TV.
Yeah, alright.
Anything on TV.
Any kind of character, huh?
Yes. So Christian, you have to answer first.
Okay.
You don't have to give us your reason yet. You can just answer, then give them a chance to answer, and then you'll give your reason.
Right now?
Yeah.
Godzilla.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a character.
Human character.
Oh, come on. You can't change the question on
That's not really changing the question.
You did change the question.
Wait until he hears my answer of that.
Alright, now this
That's a
is...
human.
I don't want humans on my team. They turn into zombies and kill me. This is terrible.
Human character.
My mom.
She's not on TV.
She was on a commercial.
I don't care. Character from a TV show. I
What the
said.
f- can't be-
I know. I said that the first time.
did.
Human character from a TV show.
I don't know, he's changing the game. The game's changed. The pressure is mounting.
This is hard now. Someone else can go, and I'll just think with the.
All right, Burwell, you're up.
Now, my immediate response is Daryl from The Walking Dead. But I'm going to hold off on that.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, now this maybe, Deadshot from Arrow.
Okay.
Now, the reason I say Deadshot from Arrow is because what you want in the zombie apocalypse is a motherfucker who's banging out headshots left and right. And that's what that dude can do. A completely accurate sniper from long distances. He's got a mechanical eye. I mean, this dude's not missing a zombie at any distance. And he's human, and he's from a TV show, so...
Beattie?
Would YouTube series
No.
on my TV
No.
count?
No, I watched the Avengers on my TV. I pick Iron Man.
The Avengers is playing on TV now.
Yeah, so.
It is a tough choice. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cop out and say Batman.
Okay. You realize that the Batman TV show was from the 1960s. You're choosing the Adam West Batman. Kabite!
Hey, when you're that that resourceful to have shark repellent on you the moment you're in a shark attack. Someone that resourceful, I would love to have on my team, especially with those quirky jokes.
All right, Christian.
I'm gonna have to go with Finn from Adventure Time.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the show, but go ahead.
It's animated.
It's a cartoon.
But he's referred to as a human. He doesn't have any special powers.
Okay.
He just fights with a sword.
Okay.
But he is hilarious. And I find that humor is the only motivation you need to get through dark times. Done.
All right. Well, technically this was your question, so why are the other two wrong?
They're not Finn.
Burwell, why are the other two wrong?
Well, disregarding the fact that Finn is bullshit answer. Just real quick.
It's a cartoon.
I'm just gonna say that are the other two are the characters you mentioned perfect snipers who can hit a headshot at any distance?
Seems like a-
No. In fact, mine may have more moral conflicts with killing zombies.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and let my argument stand on its own merit this round.
Seems like a very specific skill.
Okay. Why are the other two wrong, Beattie?
Honestly, after the realization that I shot myself in the wrong leg and said that Adam West may not actually kill zombies.
Your argument is going to entirely pertain on why the other two are wrong, then.
Okay. I concede.
2 rounds in a row.
He's so strong-willed.
Christian, any final thoughts?
No.
Burwell, any final thoughts?
Again, I don't. If I don't win this round, I don't know what I gotta do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give Burwell the point on this one.
Finn!
You gave 0 argument.
You
said he's funny.
I said they're not Finn.
Yeah, that's just a fact. That's not an argument.
I argued against myself.
Alright, so Burwell gets the
And
point.
remember, guys, no, I'm right.
Yeah.
I don't watch enough TV. Damn it.
Alright, Burwell, you have control of the board.
Let's go with comics.
Yes.
Oh, I took off that category because I couldn't think of any questions.
Okay.
So movies, TV, League, video games, or D&D?
We'll go with movies.
Movies. Okay. So this question is, which is the best character from the Avengers?
Okay.
Now, you can say Age of Ultron if you want, but I know Beattie hasn't seen it. So you could say whichever movie you want, and if you spoil it for him, I don't
Go ahead.
really care. So, you're up first.
I'm going first. I'm gonna have to go with my...
Remember, it's the best character, not like who would win in a fight or anything.
No,
Okay, just letting you know, okay.
Character-wise, I'm going with Captain America.
Damn it!
Don't show your cards, Beattie.
Now, here's why I'm going to say Captain America. All right, the rest of the Avengers have their own reasons for being there. Okay? Tony Stark, yeah, he wants to make the world a better place. Yeah, whatever. Keeps fucking up. And keeps bringing shit down on everybody. You look at the Hulk and Black Widow. They're doing their love story thing. Thor is like, hey guys, I'm here. Like, nobody's really doing anything. Nobody's got like a big... But Captain America, man, this guy, he's been fighting a war since 1946.
Earlier.
Earlier than that. The war was over in 1946.
Right. Well, whenever his plane went down,
Right.
is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, dude's been fighting this whole time. He's got conflict. He's got a love story. In his second movie, he had to take on S.H.I.E.L.D. itself, and he still won. Like, the dude just has so many different character aspects to him. I feel like Captain America is where it's at.
Okay. Beattie?
You want to talk about character aspects? Let's talk about Tony Stark. I mean, you take away the man in the iron suit. What do you got? You got a billionaire playboy, philanthropist, and who does not like that? I mean, you can get a guy who's morally right on every course and can still physically attain whatever objective he wants. But do you always want a guy that's always winning? No, that doesn't make a great story. You want to hear a guy that fucks up sometimes. You want to hear about a guy who gets drunk in his own suit.
Christian?
I'm gonna have to go with Thor.
Okay.
Just because, one, I feel like he has, I think, personally, the most influence on the storyline just from his background and what happens throughout the story. And 2, he's got that kind of like old feel, but at the same time he's in the present, but he's all powerful. So like he's got everyone that plays D&D is like, oh, I'm gonna be like this paladin mage shit. He's got like a little bit of everything. So you get like the best of every world with him, and I feel like that's like pretty awesome.
Okay. Burwell, why is the other 2 wrong?
Well, you see, like, here's the thing. When you talk about Tony Stark, you take into account everything that Tony Stark has done. And when you take into account everything that Tony Stark has done, at the end of the day, what is he? Billionaire playboy philanthropist, who's also kind of a dick.
That's what I love about him.
Yeah, but like, not the good kind of dick where he's like, oh man, your shoe's untied, and then he like boops your nose. He's like, oh, I got really drunk and crashed my Ferrari into your Nissan, and then I fucked your girlfriend. Like, that's the kind of dick he is. And then, you said Thor, right, Christian? Yeah, Thor. It's like, oh, who's the best character? A god.
Yes.
Like,
Now you get it!
On the nail!
Maybe I'm mixing up best with most, like most interesting. But in my mind, Captain America is the best character just because he's not a god, and he's not a billionaire.
Okay, so like
playboy
what specific character traits do you think are like more accentuated in Captain America?
in Captain America than the other people?
Yeah.
The selflessness,
Okay.
bravery,
Okay.
honor. I would say. Maybe Thor's a little more honorable.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Maybe Thor's a little more honorable, but I think Captain America, it may not just be about like which quality is his best, but he's just all of the good qualities without really any of the bad ones.
Okay.
Alright, both of your characters are
Suck.
straight-faced boring. They're all about their culture and they're all about their morals. But come on, I want to be hearing some snarky comebacks and a bit more character than simply we're gonna do what's right.
I guess punching Hitler is boring. I don't know.
All right, you should get half a point for that. but when I'm sorry, you threw me off.
More time added to the clock. Yeah, I had to get that one.
Give me a moment. All right.
So you said you'd rather see snarky Tony Stark.
I'd rather see snarky. I'd rather see
You'd
a
rather be
guy that
entertained
when
by
he's
this guy.
when he gets a subpoena, he shows up to court and starts taking over his own defense. I don't want to see Captain America who's trying to stand for these kind of morals. That's just like, oh, what was that one scene of just the agent died. You know, he was going to get his cards. I feel morally righteous now. I must go. I mean,
To be fair, all the Avengers kind of had that moment at that time.
I mean, he was a good guy. So.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. He was kind of at the forefront because it was his cards and all that.
yeah.
All right,
I
Christian,
just
why
feel
are the
strange.
other 2 wrong?
Alright. Before anyone can ever start an argument against Captain America, they have to say first, I love America.
We're
No, I'm right.
We're not talking about America, and then you can feel free to bash Cap.
Deduct a half a point from me.
But at the end of the day, I feel like Captain America is just very predictable. I feel like, okay, he's going to do A, B, and C because he's Captain America and that's what he's supposed to do. And it's just like, at the end of the day, he's just like an above average human who has, like Ultron said, a really fancy shield. Like, like I don't know, it just seems really mediocre to me. Nope, nothing happened in that movie.
Yep.
Nothing. You
I
shouldn't
really,
see
I
it.
really gotta look up that movie.
You do.
And with Iron Man, it could be debated that he's even a hero in general, but the argument is character. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that.
You could have picked a villain. It didn't say hero, it said character.
Oh yeah.
What about in the universe? Could we have picked like the galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, specifically from the Avengers franchise so
Alright.
far. The Guardians will be in the next Avengers, I think, but not yet. So
I don't know. I just feel like, again, just
then it would be Groot. It wouldn't be.
What is your argument?
Who is the best character in Guardians and why is it Groot?
Groot, and I am Groot.
Yes.
And then we are Groot.
Yes. That would have been your closing argument. Sorry, go ahead.
2 points.
I just feel like Iron Man's character has been it's just been done before. I feel like it's not like
In what?
original. Well, I feel like
3 movies is beating anything to death. All
it's,
right.
well, no, I don't mean that. I just mean like it could be. I mean, I feel like a lot. I'm not super into comics, but I feel like from watching The Amazing Spider-Man, it was like a kind of similar snarky character that just like didn't give a crap for a little bit, but then gives a crap when it needs it, and then it's just like he has his own like agenda that he needs to accomplish, but that could be debated again. But that's what we're here. But I just think that that Thor. I don't know. I just like that old rustic like I'm gonna beat the shit out of you for honor and justice, and I will do honor for my family, and fuck, he's a fucking
The
god.
frozen cloak in me wants to agree with you. But I'm not here to be the frozen cloak. I'm here to be the judge.
Mhm.
Okay, so any final thoughts for you guys?
Do not compare Iron Man to Spider-Man. Iron Man has a deep.
We're just focusing on movies, by the way, not the comics.
Yeah, no,
Just the
I know.
movies. So that's
What? I mean, come on. How do you not love that Iron Man has his own agenda? That adds depth. Spider-Man's a goody two-shoes.
Okay, Burwell. Anything?
Captain American boss.
And if you don't agree, you're a communist.
That's true. I didn't know I was sitting on this couch with 2 America haters.
Christian, any closing arguments?
I like my argument.
Okay. Okay, so some thoughts about your arguments. You almost had me when you said punching Hitler is not interesting. It really almost got me. I almost cried. And Beattie, when you said the building the depth of the character because he is snarky and he's not just like goody two shoes like most other superheroes. And Christian, you had a lot of good points until you said that Iron Man is like Spider-Man, and that I was like that's not even fair. It's like that's just killed it. But I do agree with a lot of your points. But it's coming down to these two, and at the end of the day, I think as far as depth of character, I think I'm going to go with Tony Stark, and Beattie gets the point here.
No, yeah, I like Iron Man way better.
Burrow's like, damn, I didn't pick Iron Man.
No one can play that character. Like, that's why I was like, I don't fucking know how to take down Iron Man. It's just not
That's the
anything.
problem. That's the problem with me. Is like Iron Man's a really cool character, but at this point, I just can't differentiate Iron Man from Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And I love
but we
Robert
are
Downey
just
Jr.
talking about the movies, though, to
No,
be
I
fair.
know.
So that's actually a good thing.
I actually wanted
that
Captain
case.
America because one of my favorite things about him is how he doesn't understand like common cultural references.
That is pretty cool, too,
Because that's
but-
another thing that adds depth to
Yeah.
him. Just
I think though in total these are like the three.
You've
those
been
are, like, the
destroyed-
three best characters.
you've
in
been
general.
destroyed, like-
I would have said Scarlet Witch or Black Widow before I said Thor. Honestly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love Thor. I
Yeah.
think he's just funny.
you got
Yeah.
nuked.
I would have even said Loki.
What was it?
Thor.
Thor
to be
is
honest.
funny, but it's comic relief funny.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not.
Did you guys ever see that?
Kind of the way Drax is funny in Guardians.
Yeah.
Like, nothing could ever go over my head.
Did-
My
did-
reflexes are
too fast.
It's too fast. Did you ever see that? There was a comic that somebody put in text for. It was a conversation between Tony and Captain America. He says, "You just got wrecked like Hiroshima," and Captain America goes, "What?" And
That is pretty
I
funny.
was dying.
All right, Beattie, it's your board. This is round 5.
You have 2 points.
What's topic number 2?
2 is TV.
Wait,
What
who
was
has?
one?
Who has? 2
Wait, isn't
points
there
right
just
now?
like
2 points, 1 and
Yeah,
1.
2 more
Isn't there only
points.
one topic left?
In TV, there's 1 question left.
Oh,
There's 2
more...
questions in each.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I'll go for. Let's go for TV. Why not?
Okay. So, this question, you have to think about it a little bit, kind of in the way that I'm asking it. Which is the best smart guy from a TV series, and don't say fucking Taj, whatever the fuck his name is from the show Smart Guy. Okay. I was talking
I
about
don't
like.
know that show. So.
Okay, it's an old show with like Taj something. I don't remember his name.
I'm first pick.
Yeah.
I'm
Shit.
first pick. Okay. House. Duh.
That's what I'm going. Something like that. Yeah, that's the idea that I'm going.
From
with.
someone that understands people, that understands medicine, that understands science, that understands just the mentality and drugs. Oh man, there's so many things to go through.
Okay, so House is your pick. Let's go. We'll get to your argument. in a minute.
yes.
Christian.
Wait. So tell me if Dexter's Laboratory, Dexter.
You can do your next laboratory if you want.
Alright. He has a lab that somehow, for who knows how many years, the lab is bigger than their house, but his parents still haven't found it somehow. And I can't seem to fathom how he's been doing doing that, but he has his ways, and every time he gets out of it by the straw, like, the smallest thing, but...
Alright, oh, you save your argument? Okay, and then who are you picking?
I'm glad you said House, because mine's kind of in the same vein. House was actually based on this character, Sherlock Holmes.
Fuck
From the
me.
Sherlock.
You just one-upped your ass.
Okay. So do you want to give an opening statement, and then we'll go to Beattie for his argument? Or?
No, we'll just jump into the argument.
Alright, Beattie, give some more about House.
I like how House will actually lead you towards what makes what he knows the fact. Like, Sherlock will point it out to your face like a cocky little shit.
Hey, this isn't the why I'm wrong segment.
I
This
know.
is just your argument.
I know. Meanwhile, House, while he may already know what the verdict is on a patient, he will lead his team down that path, or make them try to fly on their own. But I just find so fascinating is how he understands people and how he can get them to step where he wants them to.
Okay, Christian?
I think Dexter is the smartest one simply because he has access to technology that can change the world.
He's got me there.
And he literally, you don't need all these clever tricks when you could literally invent something to Men in Black someone to forget everything they've ever done or change the way of thinking. And I feel like that's pretty cool.
Okay, Burwell.
I mean, when you take a look at interesting, smart guys, Sherlock Holmes. I mean, Beattie talked about it. Drugs and the understanding of people. You're not getting any better than Sherlock Holmes. I mean, the dude knows. If you've seen the BBC series Sherlock, I mean, the dude can tell you, what you ate last Wednesday from the smell of your farts. Like, he's a genius, and he knows everything, and I actually find it more interesting that he doesn't have a full grasp on humanity, the way that House does. He can know everything in the universe, but he can't understand why his friend is mad at him for faking his death.
Spoilers!
Come on, Burwell. Viewers.
Sorry, if you haven't seen the BBC Sherlock yet, I don't know why you're here
Or
watching
House.
this.
Spoilers in both.
I've never
Actually,
watched
I
it.
thought you were talking about House, honestly.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, House did the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they really are alike.
Alright, so Beattie, why are the other two wrong?
Well, I'd say that Burwell's wrong because he picked Sherlock, and that's like cheating.
There is no cheating.
No. I say Burwell is wrong in the aspect that House has got one more than Sherlock does. House understands people and manipulates them to that point. And I'm like looking back on an episode, it still gives me goosebumps. The Amber episode where she dies. Look up House. Forget about that name.
Seriously, if you haven't seen House by now, what are you doing? With your
Stop
life? Or
listening
Sherlock, or for that
to
matter,
me
Dexter's
right
Lab.
now.
Like, go watch all of these things. Okay,
But even though as cold a motherfucker he can be, he can still have a bit of a heart.
but why are they wrong?
Why are they wrong?
Yes.
They. Would you pick Dexter's Lab? Well, to be fair, kids' cartoons' parents were pretty dense. So hiding a laboratory, maybe underground, may not be that far-fetched. And meanwhile, Sherlock, while he can be just as brilliant, perhaps more than House, he is so thick when it comes to trying to figure out people. Like, why do these people love each other? Why do I get a boner when this woman walks into a room?
Or guy,
Could be.
Don't judge.
for sure.
Dexter.
Still not sure. Yeah, Christian, why are the other two wrong?
House can't even figure out his own self and almost kills himself on many occasions, so that feels pretty dumb to me in general. And I'm just going to use the same argument for Sherlock because it's also true.
They are essentially
That's also true.
They are essentially the
Or
same
why are they
person.
wrong?
Okay, well, we're gonna start with Dexter. We're gonna go with this boy genius, this child who cannot be matched in intellect. Somehow almost gets his shit rocked every day by half retarded, just off of life support sister that strolls into his secret base every single he's a genius and he can't invent a no sister lock that like, oh, if you see her, don't let her in because, you know, I'm a genius.
Can we take a moment to breathe?
No.
And House, I'm gonna say this about House. He is smart, but I do find that it's got kind of annoying to me for every episode of House that I watch that he always did already know the answer. There was no deduction in his reasoning. Like he had known the answer, like he figured it out right away. Like with Sherlock, you get to see him come to the conclusion because he finds a bit of evidence that he didn't know, and he's able to correlate that with what he already knows, and it just becomes a bigger thing on top.
To be fair, House, he doesn't just know the answer.
No.
Most episodes. There are like one or two where he does know it, and he fucks around with his team where he's like, you guys figured out. And then he like gives them the answer halfway through, and he's like, duh. But most episodes, he has to go through this like aha moment. Like,
Yep, it's always an aha moment.
He's like eating like his lunch, and he's just like, this has layers. Oh, there's layers in skin, and then he like runs off and like I don't know, like literally it's something stupid like that, and he's just like doing something else completely unrelated, and then he's just like, oh my god, the heart's supposed to be beating, and then he just runs away.
Okay,
see, because then I would change my argument because
Right.
the thing that usually leads Sherlock to finding out his, you know, where he
Conclusion.
went wrong.
Yeah.
Or his conclusion
Right.
is usually based on the information at hand and not, you know, a sandwich, making him remember
Right. Whatever,
there's
yeah.
layers of
Yeah.
skin.
Just, you know, whatever. Okay. Any final thoughts? Beattie? Christian? No?
Just give me a moment.
Can we all lose?
No, I think I have.
I feel like we kind of all lost in a way. Burwell, you destroyed him.
Yeah, Burwell destroyed Dexter to the point where like there was like every redeeming point you said, he was just like, no.
I was waiting. I was like,
I'm here again!
I was literally.
How did this happen?
I was surprised. I was like, am I gonna get away with the sister thing?
But then again, his sister has never told their parents.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
once.
because she's an actual idiot.
No, she's a
But
genius.
my last
She's
thought
smarter than
is
Dexter.
that while sometimes a sandwich is what helps point him in the right direction, when he knows the direction, he can either deduce it in front of you, fact for fact, or convince somebody else to do it for him.
But he won't tell you if he deduces it. He'll just sit there and literally mid-sentence just be like, yeah, and then the other day I was... And then just leave the room. And that's exactly what he does in almost every episode.
And it's badass as fuck.
It is.
Okay, so I have my ruling. Unfortunately, Dexter is completely out of this argument because
Fucking Beattie. You ruined it again, Beattie.
I'm not good at getting you to pick my answers, but I'm really good at not getting you to pick your answers.
Okay, so then it came down to Sherlock versus House, and Beattie had a lot of good points about House, but you missed like one of the most important things about his overall character is that he has the balls to do it. Is that like he whatever that needs to be done, he will fucking do it, and you missed that point, and for that reason, Sherlock gets the point.
Boom.
Yep, House will take someone off of life support for 5 minutes, whether or not they'll die in 10.
Right.
Because of some
And he's done
medicine that
multiple
hasn't even been
times.
tested
By
yet.
the way, if you haven't seen the full series of House,
I've seen like a couple episodes.
oh
It's
my
actually-
god,
it is really
do you
good.
have Netflix?
Yeah.
Watch House. It's literally from start to finish. It's one of my top 3 shows of all time.
I love House.
I don't like medical dramas for some reason.
That's
It's
totally
just-
fair.
It's hysterical, though.
It's totally fair. It is hysterical, and it is
I'll
honestly
check it out.
just story wise. And character wise, it's one of the greatest characters and stories ever written.
And it gets a lot better as the seasons go on.
Okay, and Burwell, you have won both TV arguments so far.
I watch a
I
lot of
watch
cartoons.
a lot of TV.
All because I didn't mention balls.
What is the next question?
Your call.
No, what are the other categories? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
we got movies, League of Legends, video games, and D&D.
Let's go with League of Legends again.
League of Legends. Okay. Now my favorite question, and there is only one right answer, but
Team
no.
out.
It's not
Yup.
Sever, is it?
No. If you had to delete one champion from League of Legends forever, who would it be?
Oh, I can't take Beattie's
Just-
answer on this one.
Just one.
Just one.
Do I?
Because I
Well,
know.
You go
what
first. It doesn't matter. You go first.
No,
you have
I
the
know,
choice.
but there are several that I could choose from.
You know
Yeah, no, you're
Sure.
right. You're right.
He knows exactly who it is.
Mine
Picking
is
Timo
going-
is cheating, for the record.
He's not picking Timo.
Oh,
Picking,
okay.
He's picking LeBlanc. I'll give his
Oh,
answer.
okay.
Because mine's Nidalee.
Okay. So Nidalee, LeBlanc, you're saying?
I will say Fizz.
Ooh.
Because
Not
LeBlanc can
Oh, not arguments yet. Not arguments yet. Fizz. Okay.
Yeah.
Christian.
Oh, Cassidy.
Cassidy. Okay. 3 mid laners.
Mid laner is bullshit.
Good.
The reason I would delete Nidalee.
Well,
from the
arguably
game-
mid laner for Nidalee, but yeah, go ahead.
The reason I would delete Nidalee from the game is this: she has one of the longest range, highest damage pokes in the game,
Oh god, it's stupid.
with almost no mana cost and very little cooldown.
Oh god, it's even stupider.
Then after that, we'll give her the sustain of a heal, the value of putting traps in a bush to ward, and then after that, hold on. Let's use her ultimate rather than to give it, a bigger damage dealing ability. To give her another set of 3 abilities. One for wave clear, one for mobility, and one that's an execute that pops you for about 600 health every time she uses it. Oh, that one's on a low fucking cooldown too, by the way. And if you want to try and catch her, remember, she's got that mobility pounce. Oh, fuck Nidalee. Even outside of the context of this game. Now I'm mad.
All right,
A
Beattie,
fly
why
landed on your
Fizz?
face.
Because Cassidy can be nerfed, LeBlanc can be nerfed. You cannot nerf a Fizz.
What about Nidalee?
Fizz has been nerfed.
Oh, never mind.
Oh no,
We'll
I
do
gotta
that.
talk.
We'll
I
do
gotta
that.
talk. I
Yeah,
gotta
we'll-
talk
oh,
about
yeah.
Fizz.
Yeah.
The
Sorry.
Fizz has been nerfed where his AP no longer was viable, and yet you can build AD on him where not a single ability scales with it, and he can still be the most OP thing on that map. His kit is just the very essence of bullshit.
All right, Christian.
What's a dead fly?
Cassidy. Most champions, they have 5 minutes before they can flash. Late game, you have 1.5 seconds before you can get out of that fight and be on your merry way to justice as you laugh at the enemy's face while you jump back in and execute their fucking rage holes. That is my answer.
Rage holes.
Rage holes. All right, why should Fizz and Cassidy not be eliminated from the game?
Okay. Fizz, granted that fucking troll pole is annoying, but there is counterplay to Fizz. You can jump on him. Once he uses his troll pole, if you hit him with any form of CC, he's just going to stand there until he's a big puddle of bluefish dead. Shit.
Sushi.
Correct. There is
Hold
counterplay.
on.
Oh, sorry.
You'll get your
Counter
turn.
arguments.
Damn it.
You get your turn. Cassidy, yeah, flash on a 5-minute cooldown normally for champions. He has mana-related problems. You have to build a heavy amount of mana on Cassidy to even be able to use his thing. You know how much Nidalee's pounce costs? Christian, go ahead, guess how much mana.
0.
Oh, it's 0 mana. You know what the cooldown is? 2 seconds? Cause fuck you. And it's got actually about 3/4 of the distance of flash. Again, aside from all of your arguments, fuck Nidalee.
All right, Beattie,
And I rest my case.
why should Nidalee and Cassidy stay in the game?
No counter argument to that?
You get
You
final
can-
thoughts.
you
You
can-
can
you
counter.
Final
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna need a minute to remember that.
Okay.
I've got.
You
I've
can
got
come
that
at me now,
memory.
Darren.
You can do it now. It's fine.
Wait,
Okay.
I thought we do counter argument second. And
Well,
then-
no, it's arguing against the other people. You
Yeah.
can do
Okay.
whatever you want.
Oh,
Just
okay.
I'm just gonna
focus on why
I'm just
they're
gonna
wrong. But
put,
yeah,
put the two together.
Sure, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just like, no, you're right. You definitely jump in on him when his troll pull is down with maybe a point and click, or maybe before, if you get him in time before that Zonius pops off. And guess what? When that Zonius is off, his troll pull might just be up again.
Could be.
Or mobility, or flash. I'm just saying that Fizz has got that kit. And
Okay.
that
All
kit
about
don't
that
go
so
kit.
down.
why is Nidalee and Cassidy wrong?
No.
Or
no.
should stay in the game?
Nidalee lives and dies by that spear. A skill shot that requires just that skill. If you can dodge it, if you can juke it, if you can get around it.
The anger on Burwell's face right now is priceless.
That kitty is just a kitty. And as for Cassidy,
I have final thoughts.
And as for Cassidy, pre-6, gank the crap out of him. Mana problem's definitely a problem. If he gets into more than one team fight, he ain't gonna have enough mana to sustain him to go through. Like what? He'll get a combo off. Will he be able to escape? Maybe one, maybe two rifts at most. But with CC to go on top of that, he's not really that OP, especially after the damage nerfs.
Okay, Christian, why should Nidalee and Fizz stay in the game?
Nidalee, quite, like, in the current meta and just in general, Nidalee has a time limit. She's only useful until about 25 minutes in.
Okay.
At about 25 minutes, there's, like, unless you're 14-0, no matter how skilled you are, your damage output and team fighting ability goes way down, especially with AP Nidalee, where you can't even split push anymore, which was what her strength was when she was banned out all those games. That's
Well,
gone
that was
right
when
now.
you were building her AD, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. But AP Nidalee now, which is the primary use, it's not as strong anymore, which is why I feel like you don't see it as much anymore. Fizz, he may be annoying, but his damage, as BD said, wasn't what it used to be. Even though you could build Trinity and Bork, people don't really do it anymore because it's sustained damage and he just gets beat up on eventually and he's just kind of like this annoying thing that just like shifts around. Annoying maybe, but you're still probably going to win the game. Kassadin, he's one of those champions where late game comes around and late game Kassadin is still late game Kassadin no matter what you do, and he's just going to shit on faces, and that's about the only thing I can say.
Okay, final thoughts?
Just bringing up, all that, living and dying by that spear, you do bring up a good point. If I miss a spear as Nidalee, I have to wait a whole, 4 seconds before I can chuck another 600 damage nuke at your face.
Slow moving nuke.
Final thoughts?
My final thoughts.
Slow-moving nuke.
Fizz still has that percentage damage. And Fizz still has an ult that amplifies that.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
And final thoughts for Kassadin?
There were only 2 champions removed from the game during Earth. Rise and Kassadin. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
the heals were removed.
No, they were
No.
Champions
not the
removed.
new Earth.
Champions removed.
The new Earth was
The second
the
round of
Kassadin
Earth.
and the Rise.
Oh, okay.
I think
didn't
that
know
says
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually going to need you to weigh in here. What are your thoughts on their arguments, at least? And then maybe I can make a clearer decision. I think I'm down to 2, but
Actually, I
wanna
don't know
know
what you would pick. I don't know.
Not what you
I'm
would pick,
interested
but
on
who
this.
you think had the
I
best
know.
debate.
I mean, they all have their really strong points, but the only one of those champions that has way too many abilities is Nidalee.
Okay.
So Burwell's argument of instead of having an ult, let me just give her extra damage output with 3 extra abilities and cooldowns that pretty much don't exist. I'm probably gonna have to go towards Nidalee on that one.
Okay.
And since it's easier to counter a Fizz or something like that, because if you have a silence or any form of CC or anything else like that, you can just chain CC him and kill him. Some sort of suppress, like
silent
a Malzahar.
suppress space aids.
Right, exactly, yeah, like one of
Hope
those
it's point and
champions.
click.
It is point and click.
I know. That one it is.
And then Kassadin, BD brought up the good point where if you just beat him early, you can kind of counter him. But Christian's also right as far as late game Kassadin.
Right.
But I'm
Okay.
still going to have to go with Nidalee just because early game pressure is more important than late game pressure.
Okay. So I'm in a similar thought path. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. So Fizz has outplay potential on him, and he can be outplayed. That's what I take away from it. You're absolutely right. You could build him however you want. He's gonna do a lot of good stuff. But if you shut him down, he's not doing anything. He's just annoying. Kassadin, if you shut him down early, he can't build his items and therefore can't use that flash thing that you're talking about very effectively, at least, because it's gonna cost 600 mana at some point,
Yeah.
right? And Nidalee, you're absolutely right, is just I can't.
I don't understand to this day how that champion is still alive in games, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay."
She was buffed, made balanced Talon's slightly OP, they buffed her again. What the fuck, Ryan?
So the point is going to go to Burwell, but you're all getting a bonus point for not picking Timo. Because you made an argument by not picking Timo.
I wish I threw in an argument now. I didn't know that's the way it was leaning. But like Nidalee's the same way as Fizz, where you get a point-click skill shot and you could just blow her up. Like
That's true, but she's so much farther back.
Fizz
Plus
is
the
the same.
time.
Plus, it's easier
This is
for
Nidalee.
her.
Oh, Nidalee gets farther.
Nidalee,
Nidalee
when
has
she's
a-
in kitty form, yeah, you're right. But
Nidalee,
like
yeah,
she doesn't have
that's-
to do that until she. Until she
Nidalee
lands a
cooldowns
spear.
allow her to get away easier than Fizz. Because Fizz has
Yeah.
the troll pole and then the dash, and then that's it.
Technically
There's no
speaking-
wrong answers. They're all
Right,
They're
they're
all
very valid.
very valid arguments. It's
Technically-
just best of the bunch.
Technically speaking, point and clicks have missile speed. And if you get into that troll pole before the missile hits you, the missile's canceled.
Right.
That's true.
You're right.
That is
you're
also
right.
a weird mechanic.
Yeah.
And everything, like point and clicks aren't instant.
Same with
That makes
Fiora.
sense.
Okay,
They're all
and with
speed.
that, Burwell gets the 4 points needed to go to the final round. So this question is going to be just between you two. Okay? Well, Burwell, you won that point, so you're actually going to choose the category for them.
Okay.
Okay? So you got movies, video games, or D&D.
If you could choose, what would you choose?
I would like video games.
Video games?
Oh yeah, we haven't done that yet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, video games. Then
Okay, pick one or
So
two.
for sure you'd be like, ha, fuck you.
We'll go with video games.
Uno. Okay.
Uno.
So, you're going to have to roll to see who gets to pick first. But which is the best first-person shooter ever made?
First person shooter?
Yes.
Oh, man, none of them.
Well, reroll. You both rolled ones. Oh, okay. There you go. You rolled a one again. So, Christian, you picked first, and I know what you're going to pick already.
You're right. Call of no.
Dude, what? Oh my god, you would have lost
God, no.
points.
Halo.
Okay.
He's got Halo.
And for you?
First person shooter, single
Yes.
player, Bioshock.
Bioshock. Okay.
Absolutely.
Christian, fight me. Tell
Fight
me.
me.
Tell me. Christian, fight me.
Christian, fight me IRL.
Tell me why Halo is the best first-person shooter.
Well, I will say I love both games actually.
Wait, I'm sorry. And are we going with the Halo franchise and the Bioshock franchise, or are you going with Halo?
I was
and-
going with single game.
Okay, so
Oh.
Bioshock 1
Mhm.
versus
Halo
Halo
3.
Ooh,
Halo
over
3.
Infinite.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so
Infinite
Halo
is
3.
good.
Tell me what's.
It's not as good as Bioshock 1. Because you have a new experience first time hearing about that. We'll get into it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Wait, I take that back. Halo 2.
Halo 2?
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard debating between the franchise, I know, but yeah.
Because my heart
okay.
lies within the franchise, not within an individual. I just realized within an individual game. But
Okay.
I'll pick Halo 2.
Okay, so Halo 2. Why is Halo 2 the best first-person shooter?
I thought, as a just growing up, it was.
That's a wee Nino.
Yeah, wee nino. A weeno.
Nino.
It was just. It's a fun game, and it's just. Unlike I'm gonna compare it to Call of Duty, but in the aspect where it's different, it's just. You have a chance to react and outplay. It's like in League, oh shit, I got caught up by surprise, but here's my counter move because I'm a boss, now fuck you, and I'm gonna walk away like a badass because I'm grenade jumping over your face while BXRing you, and it's just, I feel like there's so much going on in the game and it always keeps you on your toes. And the multiplayer was the first of its time online, and it was just wildly, just infinite hours. of fun.
SOCOM was the first, I believe, first-person shooter online.
I know it wasn't
I
the only
believe.
one, but it was one of the. It was the one that really blew
Right.
it out. That
Yeah.
kind of.
SOCOM was big, but it sucked. I don't like it.
No, SOCOM did. Well, it
I
had
fucking love SOCOM.
the story in that game was awesome.
I love
the first
I love the
the
online multiplayer.
I've never liked online first-person shooters, so I'm biased. But okay, so Bioshock.
Alright. Bioshock 1 doesn't have a multiplayer.
You're also gonna have to sell me a lot because I've never actually played Bioshock.
Okay. My
I'm sorry.
biggest, Bioshock was my heartthrob of story games. I will, to this day, still debate anyone that says, you think you got a game with a better storyline? Oh man, just from the get-go, total immersion. You only know what you see and hear through different files you may find, pictures, tape recordings of these poor people going through these horrific times. Bioshock has brought you into the world of Rapture, created by an entrepreneur who wanted to get away from capitalism and get away from communism to create his own kind of individual, where this individual could thrive on his own dollar, he called it. But then eventually this man became corrupt and tried to control his people through the way of a new invention of plasmids.
Okay, isn't
And-
that communism?
A little bit.
Okay,
Slightly.
sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was mind control, to be fair.
Okay.
And
It's like,
but this
sounds like
plasmids
communism.
was a rampant drug addiction
Mhm.
that caused bodies to decay, minds to fray, and they all followed mindlessly this one man. And now you're thrown, and now suddenly there's a plane crash. You're this man that stumbles upon the society, and a man frantically trying to rush you through before these horrible bandits get to you. And now, from this point on, you see like how this man built this entire society, what has been destroyed, and what like this kind of culture. It was done in I think it was the 1950s.
Yeah, you play through a dystopian future society in the past.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just need
it's
a recall.
crazy.
I just
Yeah.
need a recall. I can't ask you to.
Yeah,
to
no,
vouch
that's
for
fine,
me.
that's fine.
But it was in the 1950s, and you can actually see the 1950s, like the old cigarette signs and the like. What was it? There was like vapors. I forget what it was called, but it
Okay,
used to be.
you
big back
sorry, you had like a lot. Of
I know when it
time.
comes to story, there's
I
a
know.
lot to go through.
So here's what I'm hearing. You're focusing a lot more on the gameplay. You're focusing a lot more on the story. Sell me on the
Gameplay-
other point.
Hey, hey.
So he goes first.
Oh.
Story.
5 minutes for Christian, please.
Yeah, you did go for like at least 4 minutes.
Continue.
That's okay.
Master Chief has just got that heart. I mean, I kind of forgot just the gameplay so much, but the story actually is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just in gameplay, in game wise, just because you.
Did 2 have co-op story?
Yes.
1 didn't, right? 2 did.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
2 did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
2 was the first
So
one.
that because I was gonna say I'm trying to remember which story it was. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I'll never. It was it was literally my favorite game moment in history during the storyline. But if there was ever someone that you expect to emerge from the flames of an explosion when you thought all hope was lost, it was Master Chief. And as scripted as that may be and as may sound, no one did it like him. The Covenant brought a bomb onto their ship, and I will forever to this day remember what he did. His allies were asking, what should we do with this bomb? And Master Chief just started walking away. And they were like, Master Chief, where are you going? To give the Covenant back their bomb. He takes the bomb, shoves it out of the spaceship while riding on it like a surfboard, pushes it into a planet-sized cruiser, jumps, does a backflip, dodging another plane, lands on his plane while gets away, and the Covenant ship explodes. And it was the greatest moment, and it was just like, he brushes it off like, alright, what's next? And he just keeps fighting. And I just loved that portion. I just loved that about Master Chief and how badass he was.
Okay, and gameplay for Bioshock.
Okay. Gameplay. You get magic, essentially plasmids in one hand, weapons in the other. You can name whatever kind of firearm you got it. And meanwhile, throughout this storyline, you were customizing your own weapon through these jury-rigged kind of ways. It was very interesting how they would, like, you've got a normal shotgun, you want to raise the rate of fire to it, we're going to add steampunk to it. Why not? And as you went through, you want to talk about fighting tooth and nail? Go against a golem while you were just a normal man with a gun, a little bit of magic. Magic wasn't that important. But you would fight this golem that's got a drill for an arm, and sometimes bombs in the other hand, and you would fight him with sometimes just a wrench to your name. And when it came down, as the story progressed, there was a man who helped you from the beginning to the get-go, always helping you, guiding you in the right direction, only to find out that he's been
You're
pulling...
doing story again.
Yeah,
I need the gameplay.
he did story.
Huh? I know he did gameplay first, and then he did story.
Oh, he did gameplay first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what I was saying. He focused on the gameplay with his initial argument. You focused on the story, so I wanted to hear the other side of it.
Okay. Then, well, actually, Bioshock was the first game to bring in... Was it the first game? Yes, it was the first game to bring in gravity control, where you could actually control different items from afar using telekinesis. And it did so in such a great way that it, like, you could actually pick up people and throw them at others. And that just gave you a satisfying feeling that no gunshot will give you.
I've had that feeling in The Force Unleashed. No. Go away.
It was very similar to that.
Okay, any final thoughts, Christian?
I'll say.
Oh, wait, you never went against each other's
Oh, yeah,
game.
that's what I was
Sorry,
gonna
so
do.
yeah, so why not Bioshock?
Again, I love both games, but I feel like Bioshock was a very specific genre where it appealed to a very specific audience, where the story it was a good story, but I just felt like it was a little too convoluted for itself, where there was just sometimes too much going on. There were like these deep stories within these deep stories, and sometimes you get confused. And I feel like Halo is very simplistic in the fact that, hey, here's a gun, be the hero, man. And it just captures you in such a way where it's just always fun.
Okay, and why not Halo?
If you want simple, if you want to shoot an alien, alright, go pick Halo. Why not? But if you want something deep, if you want to basically play a book that's been well thought out, well written, and well voiced, play Bioshock.
So, with that claim, you're saying that Halo is not well written or well voiced?
I think Bioshock is better.
Okay, okay, just being clear for that, because...
Yeah.
Better voiced and
Better, okay, better is different than it is or it isn't. Okay, so here's where I'm sitting.
You're over there.
Yes, here's where I'm sitting. This is the chair that I'm sitting on.
Yes.
Okay. It was a hard sell because I've never played Bioshock, so I can't relate.
No, I
right?
didn't think this was going to go through.
I'm not
No,
saying
no, I
it
mean,
was.
continue.
Okay, and I have played Halo 2, and it's nostalgic for me, because I remember playing, the first time I played it with my cousin Ray, and it was just awesome, right? Now you're saying, because I've heard so many great things about Bioshock story, and I've experienced the story of Halo 2, so it's hard to differentiate, and I'm going to go not based on story then, because I can't.
And that's where Bioshock falls then, because Bioshock's all about that story.
Here's where the difference was for me, is that Bioshock was a first-person shooter game with a great story. Totally get it. Halo is a first-person shooter game with a great story and multiplayer. And that's where the first-person shooter genre thrives, is in multiplayer, and like that like head-to-head battle, and who could forget that freaking map with the two bunkers at the end of each, and inside like the cavern of the mountains.
Yeah. I thought the question was, what was the
Yes.
best single-player first-person shooter?
Just first-person shooter. You could take it however you want, but that's where the difference was for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to go with
different.
Christian here, and he makes it to the final round.
Oh,
But Beattie, you do have a say in the final round.
You wanna bring this on?
Oh, is this like Survivor? He fucks over the person that fucked him over?
No, he just picks the category.
Bird
Oh, okay.
Christian.
The million goes to Burwell.
Fucking Halo.
Opening chest, another game.
Okay.
Oh my god, no.
So the way it's gonna work for future reference for those listening is that round, if it is between 1 or 2 points, that round is gonna be worth 2 points, so that it's not just like loser loses. But if the second person or this person in second place has 2 more points than that person, then that person automatically wins. See what I'm saying? Like B, you had 3, Christian had 2, so that round is worth 2 points, so Christian could get to the final round. That way, it wasn't just pointless.
Yeah.
And if you would have had 3 and he had 1, you would have gotten to the final round instead.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Okay, so for the final round, you have the option of movies, video games, or D&D.
Movies.
Movies. Okay. And Burwell, as the one who finished first, you actually get to choose first.
Iron Man.
Nope.
Damn it.
That actually is not a correct answer in this category.
sweet.
Deduct 5
So,
points.
Yeah, you have negative 1 point. Peter, you're in the finals.
I started with 5.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Now you're at negative 12.
Damn
I don't know how you got 12. Okay, so what is the most anticipated movie coming this year?
Coming this year.
This year.
Whew. Can I look up a list of movies
Sure.
coming out?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Look up a list for both of you to
it.
look
I have
at.
my phone.
Huh?
It should be on the... Oh, it's behind your pink water bottle.
Oh. Why you gotta say pink? Now everybody knows I have a pink water bottle.
It's blue.
It's manly pink.
It's magenta.
That doesn't help.
Uh,
So, Beattie, you want to tell us what it feels like to be the first loser?
I wish you played Bioshock.
Yeah,
You
it is.
would've
It is
understood.
fair, but I honestly, I had to go with Halo just because the extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, my entire.
I thought you were gonna go with Team Fortress.
No, you can't go Team Fortress because there's no story. Well, no, there is story.
Well, but I was gonna say, like, if you were just gonna go on that version of FPS, like, just the massive
Like,
world
no,
of
what
players.
I went with was single player. What is the best single player first person shooter?
Ah, Fandango.
Which nowadays, that's not what first person shooters are all about. Nobody plays single player first person shooter. They all play.
That's the
multiplayer.
only way I would play a first person
Oh,
shooter.
No, they play multiplayer.
Oh, there's a League of Legends movie coming out June 17th.
What?
It's called The Bronze.
Really?
It's not about League of Legends.
Oh.
This is called the Bronze.
I thought it was just okay. Really? Like what the
Ooh,
fuck?
Ted 2.
If you go with Ted 2.
You lose. Next.
I have mine.
Oh man,
Okay.
a Japanese dog.
What?
I don't even know.
See now, and for
Oh
future
my
reference,
God.
for future reference, you will
Fucking
have
God.
you will have time before we do the show next time to prepare, so that it's not just on the spot, and that you have like points you can bring up if you want. Except for this round. This round is going to be a surprise, so that no one has an advantage.
Why'd I go Nar? I should have went anything but Nar.
I was like, yeah, Nar still played really well, so.
Coming in
I'm
right at
ready.
the deadline. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to give your answer while he's still looking it up?
Sure.
Okay.
My answer is Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Okay.
He wins.
I might not. There are a couple others.
There are a
coming
couple
out.
good ones. Like if you say Pitch Perfect 2, or no, it already came out. I'm just kidding.
Came in
But go ahead. You can give your argument while he's still looking it up.
Well, okay. First off, we take a look at what Star Wars: The Force Awakens is. Sequel to one of the most, well, formerly beloved series of all time. Star Wars: The Force Awakens is the culmination of every nerd's dream that they would make more Star Wars movies after what happened with Luke and Vader in Episode 3. Episode 6. I go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm dumb. But,
Do you ever heard of watching it in the machete sequence?
yes. I
You have?
Yeah.
You watch Star Wars 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. So
Not
the-
one.
you eliminate one from existence. So in order of doing that, you watch 4 and 5, you watch Luke become what he is, and then 2 and 3, you watch Vader become what he is, and then in 6, you have the final culmination of the battle. It's called the machete sequence. It's a cool idea. I've never watched them like that, so I've never seen it. But
Yeah, it's interesting.
I actually haven't
one
watched the
never happened.
prequels since they came out. But go ahead.
Taking into account what this movie is, there may not be a lot of... I mean, there's a lot of hype around it, but is it really something that nerds are anticipating? And I think at this point, it is.
You have one?
Just based on the fact that, if you think about it, it's coming from J.J. Abrams, the guy who breathed life back into the Star Trek franchise. Anybody in this room give a fuck about Star Trek before J.J. Abrams did it? Really? The originals?
A little bit.
Okay.
Not for me, a little bit, but I know what you're saying. I totally get it.
But those new movies changed the game. Didn't
Oh,
they?
entirely.
Yeah.
My favorite line from the Star Trek one was there's like they're fucking with Kirk, and they come over and there's like 4 or 5 of them. They're like, we've got 5, you've only got 1. And he's like, well then you better get some more guys so we can have a fair fight. Boom! And I was like, yes.
But yeah, I think The Force Awakens is the most anticipated movie
Okay,
of 2015.
Christian.
Zoolander 2.
Shit. I didn't even know that was coming
Yeah.
out.
Neither did I. And now I'm really excited for it.
So am I.
Go
So, we all have those childhood memories of the greatest movies that we've ever watched.
This is gonna be tough.
Zoolander is one of them. Oh my god, the character that was portrayed in such epic fashion, and
Fashion.
oh, I did that on purpose.
No, you didn't.
Flair, bitch. And Will Ferrell was in it, and you could hardly tell it was him. He played such a good character. It was such a hilarious movie from start to finish.
I'm
and
sorry, did my pin get in the way of your ass? Go lose 5 pounds right now.
And I was about to say, it's one of the most quoted movies of all time.
Orange Fropa Macchiato.
And just nothing puts a smile on people's faces.
Do you think
better.
I don't know how to give a you googly?
What is this? A university for ants?
Shit, this is gonna be tough.
All right, so why not Zoolander?
Okay, now here's why not Zoolander. Okay,
This is gonna hurt your
No.
soul.
Huh?
That's
This is
hard.
gonna hurt both your souls to
it's
fight
actually
against.
it's actually not because
Okay.
I'll bring up a point.
Okay.
bring up a point. What happened earlier when we were talking about Pitch Perfect 2?
It came out.
Right, it came out. You loved it.
Oh, when Sean was
You
talking.
loved
Okay,
it.
yes.
But Sean was talking about it, Rubel, before he left,
Yes.
and he said he didn't like it. Not because it wasn't necessarily good, or not because it wasn't necessarily funny.
For the record, it was amazing. Go ahead.
Right. But because it was too close to the original.
Sure.
Now, your argument against that was, why would people say that? More of the original is a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely a good point. That's
Mhm.
absolutely valid. Why would you change the formula? However, if you take a look at Zoolander, that movie is perfect. From start to finish. It's the perfect character.
Perfect.
It's the perfect character. It's the perfect silly story. It's got the perfect villain. It's just its own little, perfect world. It doesn't need another world.
Okay, then why does Star Wars need another?
Here's why
world?
Star
Okay.
Wars needs
Go
another
ahead.
world. Because they haven't had enough yet. No.
The 6 is not enough.
103.
3.
200 or so books, not enough.
As unfortunate as it may be, the world did not gravitate to Zoolander the way that it did to Star Wars when it first came out. Star Wars was a cultural phenomenon.
Mhm.
Hundreds of thousands of people go, to comic book conventions, and not hundreds of thousands dress up, but thousands of
Pretty
people.
much.
Yeah, thousands of people go to a comic convention just for Star Wars, just for memorabilia. I can't recall off the last time in my head there was a Zoolander convention. There should be.
It's called Project Runway. Go
Oh,
ahead.
But I will say that Zoolander is a fantastic movie, but it doesn't need more. Do we
Okay.
want more? Sure, but Star Wars fans, because there's this whole entire separate universe that is supposed to be, explored through various mediums, through comics, through games, or whatever. There's just so many places you can go with it to where there's a need for it. I don't feel like there's a need for a Zoolander sequel, as much as I want one now more than anything.
All right, Christian.
I feel like at the end of the day, it's two different styles of movie, and I feel like that's important. With a comedy, you could really do whatever you want with that. I feel like it's got to be funny, it's got to be entertaining. You want some of the same things, but not all the same, and I feel like for the most part, that's delivered in a comedy. We don't talk about The Hangover, was a stupid thing. But I feel like Star Wars, all of Burwell's points could be, even though he did put up a good argument for Zoolander, I still feel like all those things apply to Star Wars. I feel like even though there is more that could, at the same time, there's still that risk where it could fuck up and just be terrible. There's always that risk no matter what it is with restarting any movie or franchise that has been quote-unquote closed off for now, and just trying to revamp that, especially with a different idea, author, director, or brain behind the movie. There's always that risk that it can go in a completely different direction. And I feel like a lot of opinion comes into it with the viewer, where one person could like it and another person could hate it, so it's hard to balance. And I feel like with a comedy, it doesn't really matter. It's you're there to laugh, and if you get a couple laughs out of it, it's going to be a good movie, especially for nostalgia purposes, and I feel like that's awesome.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Christian has very, very valid points, and I do completely agree with them. However, I will say that the question was, what is the most anticipated movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that while a movie like Zoolander 2 would be more than welcome and wanted by someone like me, I would say that Star Wars would just be the more anticipated one because of the reasons I listed earlier.
Gotcha. Okay, any final
Technicality.
thoughts?
I actually agree with that point, but in reverse, because with movies like that, let's say the Halo series was a movie franchise for me, I would actually be nervous, which I was when the fourth one came out. So I was half guarded with it at the same time. I was like, yes, but I don't fuck it up. I don't know if I'm excited anymore.
Or the Reach stuff, all the
Yeah,
side
exactly.
stuff.
That's funny. That's how I feel about the Star Wars movie.
And it's just
Please don't fuck it up, please.
So with Zoolander, I feel like the pressure's off. Fuck it, let's go. Let's go make this. Let's relive our childhood. I feel like that's pretty cool.
All right, so here it comes down to this. I'll give you my ideas, and then I want to hear from Beattie, and then I'll give my final ruling. Okay, so
I'm gonna
hell of a battle, win or lose, because you're up against a monster in
that's-
Star Wars.
That wasn't
right?
an easy fight for anyone to take, and you went down swinging if you did lose.
You
Yes.
took it with grace.
Well, I'm not saying who won yet, but okay. So the points I loved on Zoolander, one of the most quotable movies. Really, there's only one quote from Star Wars that counts, and like, granted, that doesn't make it
That's
right,
no
but-
moon.
What?
That one, right?
Did you just make that up?
That's the
or is
one.
that actually a quote?
That's actually in the movie.
I like what Christian said about comedies not having the pressure on them that a franchise like Star Wars would have, or any other big franchise like that. I think everyone went into like Avengers 2 like, oh man, I really hope this is awesome. Not like, this is gonna be awesome.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So with that, and then, you know...
Although, to be fair, with those guys, just a real quick aside, I think it's finally to the point where like we can stop doing that now. Because Marvel has not fucked up.
And you know why? Because of this Avengers. Because Disney now owns Marvel. And because now Disney owns
Marvel
Lucasfilms as
Studios.
well. Marvel Studios, that's what I'm saying, yeah, sorry. And now that they own Lucasfilms as well, we have to wait for the 7th one, because then we can be like, okay, 8 and 9 are going to be great.
Yeah.
And that's why it is very anticipated when 7 comes out. And what he was saying with the pressure not being on a comedy, the same way, like The Hangover 2. Nobody's going into it being like, oh, this is going to be the funniest movie ever. You're going into being like, I miss Alan. I miss, Ed Helms' character. Like, I miss those guys. I went into Pitch Perfect 2 not going like, this is going to be better than the original. This is going to be amazing. I went into it being like, Anna Kendrick is hot, and I want to watch her do stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Her singing is really good. And
that's
she's hot.
like that's why you watch a comedy sequel, especially 22 Jump Street, and that played on itself a lot of times too. Like, didn't we do this already? And they're like, no, shut up. That was so good.
I can't wait till
And
23.
I of course your points about Star Wars being a ginormous franchise with fans out the wazoo and like conventions being held for it and all this stuff, and you definitely played more to the general anticipation. So those are my thoughts on your two arguments. And Beattie, what did you think?
Christian had a great counter.
DNA.
He had a great counter with simply, well, think about in anticipation, everyone's like, yeah, don't fuck it up. While with Zoolander, anybody that's seen that cult classic is just like, oh, you know what, this is going to be a great laugh, but at the same time, it's a cult classic.
Yeah.
So I'd say in a wider range of anticipation, Star Wars has probably got a bigger audience. But in quality of anticipation, I'd say Zoolander's got it.
Okay, so you're just not helping me at all. Okay, great.
Quantity,
Okay,
quality.
I know. So you're not helping at all. Thanks. Thanks for showing up, Dick. I'm just kidding.
What about we say that we tie?
No.
Yeah.
I have an official ruling,
Hey.
and I am giving it to Star Wars only because even hesitation to see it is still anticipation. So you're still going to be like, oh, I gotta see it just to see if it's good or not.
Yeah.
That's still anticipation either way, and there's a broader scope of it for
Hell
Star
of a
Wars
battle,
than this
sir.
for Zoolander.
That was pretty
But
good.
fucking
Fuck both of you.
crazy battle. I did not, going into it, I was like, oh, he picked I was like, who's gonna pick Star Wars because that's gonna win?
Yeah.
And then you put up a fight that I did not see.
Honestly,
coming.
I
Beautiful.
almost didn't pick Star Wars because I saw it came out on December 18th, like at the end of the list as I was
Right.
scrolling.
Yeah.
I saw one before that where I was like, well, there's my pick and I'm going to win.
How was it?
Hunger Games, Mockingbird.
Oh, you would have
That
lost.
was that was my
Hey,
choice if I couldn't
You
find
can't
it.
argue that that's not anticipated.
You're right. But yeah, but I think.
I'm really excited for Zoolander 2 now.
But
I agree with Star Wars. Actually,
but as the winner, you have the option. Would you like to host the next round?
Sure.
Okay, and don't forget.
Oh, yeah. Guys, just to let you both know, no, I'm right.
Mm.